Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
On today's episode, we are discussing Paris is Always a Good Idea, episode 3, Sebastian Revisited, which is now airing on Hallmark Plus.
It seems like a lot of people in our Girls Gone Hallmark Facebook group seem to be watching it.
It does seem that way, and we're recording this as our first 2 episodes went out. This is the morning those episodes dropped. And so we haven't had any, email thoughts come in yet, but we would love to hear your thoughts on this series. Hello at girlsgonehallmark.com. We do have one so far. So hooray.
Read it.
It's from Julie. She says, I think Chelsea is recording her thoughts because she's writing a book. Just like what Colin's wife said, I feel like there's a book in everybody.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I could buy into that because even after watching episode 3, I'm like, who the heck is she talking to?
Who are you talking to?
I have no idea. Before we get into the details of episode 3, are you still enjoying this series?
I am.
Me too. I really like it a lot. I almost wish I could binge it.
Yeah.
I just wish I could binge it because I enjoy it so much. And like I could sit down and watch 6 episodes we're going to get here? I could watch 6 episodes of this in one day and feel like I watched 2 rom-com movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. If you are not yet watching this series and you're waiting because you want to do your 2-week Hallmark Plus hoopla or whatever the case may be, this would, I think, be a great binge.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Are you ready for a synopsis for episode 3?
I am.
Chelsea and Knightley team up and get back to work in Paris. Meanwhile, French photographer Sebastian re-enters Chelsea's life.
As a reminder for these Paris is Always a Good Idea episodes, we don't do our usual like, wish, did you see that format? We kind of run through the major plot points and discuss them. Not a true scene-by-scene recap, but we'll be getting to everything that we see in this episode.
Right. So let's start.
Let's talk about Annabelle.
Annabelle, love Annabelle. Not enough Annabelle in this episode.
Not enough Annabelle in this episode. And I think it was an interesting choice to leave Annabelle behind. She's sticking around to have her date with Declan, which I actually, story-wise, I kind of like. Mm-hmm. That they didn't just make her forget about this little budding romance that she has. But she's so good on screen. And I miss having her be there for Chelsea. But the other thing is, being separate from Chelsea, she does a nice job of moving the situation with her dad and Sherry forward a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I like that a lot. I also want to call out, we talked in the first 2 episodes about how you noticed, like, it's so sunny. And it is.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And it's not sunny anymore. She's like, what the heck is up with this Irish summer? It's clearly raining. She's in a jacket. She's sitting out on this cliff. I'm sure the actress is like, what the heck, man? You're going to make me sit out here in the rain and have this FaceTime call. But we're back to truly Irish weather.
I love that it was so different than in the previous episode and that we talked about it in the previous episode review.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I loved it. I know when she's sitting there and says, like, what's up with this, Irish summer? I was like, oh my God. It worked out perfectly. I just thought that was so funny. I love that she's going to stay behind and pursue something with Declan. I like that Chelsea was encouraging that as well. I think there's so much to learn more about Annabelle and Chelsea even says oh, you haven't really been with anybody since a name I didn't even catch.
Right. Same.
So I'm hoping that we learn some more there. I love Annabelle. I'm really interested in her story.
Again, this is a total departure from the book. We'll talk about some changes from the book as well. Another departure that I want to point out is the character of Sherry is written very differently than she is portrayed on screen. Barbara Niven plays her so warmly, and on screen, I think even her dialogue is written. She's warm, she's supportive, she's not trying to overstep. She's trying to give everyone the space that they need to process this new relationship and to get places in their own time. And even when Annabelle is talking to her dad and Sherry, and she's like, you guys need to figure this out, Sherry's like, yo, you're the dad. You need to be the one. She's not like, that daughter of yours needs to, apologize. She's just like, you're her dad. You're the one who needs to move this forward. I love the character of Sherry. In all fairness, in the book, Chelsea behaves very differently. She's much colder. She's much more harsh on the Sherry relationship. And so it makes sense that Sherry reacts in a little more like cold and reserved way to her. But of course, I prefer this Barbara Niven version of Sherry. Like, I don't need a villain out there.
Yeah, I want this Sherry in my life.
Right? And for Annabelle too, isn't it so nice? Because obviously, like, she needs this mother figure in her life. Like, their dad's great, clearly. But it does seem like Sherry is filling a place in Annabelle's life.
Yeah.
And I love that for her.
Me too.
The other thing I want to point out about this Annabelle scene, did you happen to pause and read the back and forth emails from Sebastian and Chelsea?
I did not.
So in the very beginning of this scene, Annabelle is looking at the email thread between Chelsea and Sebastian that followed Sebastian saying like, wait, I'm in Paris. Can we meet up? And I had to pause and read it on screen. And it basically lets you know Sebastian's like, oh, I've been living in New York all this time, but I'm in Paris for a shoot. And Chelsea's like, oh my gosh, that's such a coincidence. Like Boston and New York are so close. It's crazy. We've never I don't think she says like we've ever crossed paths, but that's the implication. Mm-hmm. They do point that out again later in the episode. They do say like he's been living in New York. But I like that setup on screen if you were so inclined to pause it and read it, and the attention to detail and adding in those back and forth emails.
The only thing I noticed about the emails is like the subject was like regarding, where it's obviously a back and forth a lot. I thought it was very funny, but I didn't read the context of those emails at all.
And that's kind of a wrap on Annabelle as we see it.
I hope we get more Annabelle next episode.
Yes. Maybe Declan and Annabelle arrive in Paris.
Maybe.
Or Spain.
Oh, yeah. Is that where we're going next?
Mm-hmm.
Spain. Okay. Let's talk Chelsea and Sebastian.
Let's do it.
I love how their history unfolds at the top of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was something so different about it because I'm trying to... It definitely doesn't feel like Hallmark, right?
Oh, interesting.
Because like in our Hallmark typical movies setups, it's like kind of... we land at a certain place. This particular, and I'm sorry I'm not like describing it so well, but Chelsea and Sebastian meeting way back in the day when she is in Paris. Are they in Paris? No, they're like outside of Paris, right?
Correct. A forest in France.
Yeah, so she's like doing some sort of work. He sees her, like he wants to take her picture. She's reluctant. And it just like, it unfolded so nicely. I thought it wasn't just like wham, bam.
Yeah, we get way more buildup in the Sebastian story than we did in Colin.
Yes, that is the point I'm trying to make. Thank you for summarizing it. I just thought it was nicely done. But I also love, and I know this is how this series is going, is that, she's revisiting all these like who she thought were her people, and they're really not her people, mm-hmm. right? And so, of course, in this one, we know from the jump that like Sebastian's not going to be her guy. Though they did kind of surprise me a little bit when we see Sebastian at the bridal suite door.
Yes.
I'm like, what is he doing here?
Yes. And look, we know it's not Sebastian just because that's not how these are set up. But when he shows up and she's like, you're not supposed to be here, it's giving like the groom isn't supposed to see the bride before the wedding.
Yes, exactly.
So
and there was a part of me that I was like, oh, maybe Annabelle and Sebastian end up together, because I couldn't figure out like why would he be there.
Sure.
And then we understand more later on, of course.
I also kind of like that when they're about to have their first kiss, he's like, wait a minute, like this isn't going anywhere. We're both leaving. And then of course, the relationship progresses and they do, but they set him up as this.
He's protective of his own heart, right?
Yeah. And hers too, a little bit.
Yeah. He's like, they set it up like their timing is all wrong.
Yes, exactly. I do like that we get a call back to the club dancing scene from episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I'd like to point out, Lacey during this time wears a lot of nap dresses. Do you know what a nap dress is?
No.
And Google it. You'll see a million of them. I'm not sure if it's Hill House specifically. Hill House is the brand, but there's 100 different versions of it made by other brands now. It's a very different look than her uniform of the present day.
Yeah. So it's like a smocked top.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Floaty dress.
Got it. No, why is it called a nap dress? Like you take a nap in it?
I guess. That's just what Hill House calls them. But
Okay.
you don't need to spend $200 on the Hill House version because every other brand has knocked it off.
Yeah. When was she wearing one?
On the bridge is the second one.
When he's like photographing her. Yeah.
Yeah, when he photographs her and then in their final goodbye kiss.
Yes. This is really interesting because I liked Colin in the last episode, right? Like he comes in, he's married. Like I can understand that he moved on with his life. But then we have Sebastian here whose like motives are kind of gross and makes me hate him.
Yes, and we don't get to those motives right away. Sebastian does give me the ick a little bit at the end when you realize like all of this has been coercion to get her to sign off on something that he knows she has no interest in signing off on. If we can compare this to the book, Sebastian's gross in the book, but in a much worse way. I mean, and I knew Hallmark would not go there, but basically he like tries to bribe her to hook up with his gross rich friend.
Ew.
Yes, he like tries to get her drunk, and so it's gross, terrible.
So we still get the vibe of
yes,
ick. Okay.
Yeah. So having read the book and then seeing this, I'm like, well, this is not as bad as it could have been, but still, such disappointment. It's another one of those things. You've built this guy up in your head. Obviously, they had a nice time together during their month together. You come back, they have this moment. They start to kiss. She's like, wait, are you married? Are you in a relationship? Like he's free. He doesn't have the issues that Colin had. He gives her this beautiful dress. He's successful. He's found his dreams. And then bam, all he wanted was your signature that said that he can further his career. And I just feel like, it just erases that last 24 hours that you've had with this person.
Yeah. I have to pause, though, and wonder, why did Chelsea care so much about this photo? It wasn't like she looked beautiful in it. Like, why would she care so much?
I wondered the same thing, and I don't have an answer to it. I went back and forth. I was like, come on, Chelsea, who cares? It's just a photo.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, I thought, well, does it matter why she cares? Like she told him when he took it, like, this is just for us. That was the deal. And so he knew how strongly she felt about it and that she would have to be coerced to sign it off. And ultimately, we learn at the end, she does sign it off in exchange for him photographing her sister's wedding.
Wait, that's her sister's wedding?
Oh, photographing the wedding. He's photographing the wedding, whatever wedding they're at the end.
I wonder her motivation. Like, why did they need like this high-end photographer? Do you think because, okay, if she's so upset with him when she bounces in the red dress, like she's like, no, my answer is no. How does she later come back to, oh, we're going to get Sebastian to photograph this wedding and this is how we're going to do it?
Yeah, I would love that. I don't even know if we'll ever get it because she just says, like I told your agent when I signed in exchange for you photographing this wedding or whatever it was. I would love to know those details. Like, how did he get his way back in? Was it just that the agent reached out and was like, I'm going to try one time? And she was like, well, maybe I could use this, because it doesn't seem like anybody in this family is hurting for money. Like they couldn't have afforded a photographer.
Not when you travel to Paris with one day's notice.
But maybe he's so good and well known. They're like, well, this is our chance to have Annie Leibovitz photograph our wedding.
All right.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break and we'll come right back to talk more. Paris is always a good idea. Well, why don't this is the perfect time to transition into talking about Chelsea and Knightley.
These are my favorite scenes in this episode.
Of course.
I did think it was kind of interesting, though, because in comparison, the scenes between Chelsea and Sebastian, to me, feels like classic Hallmark, Lacey, Chabert. Kind of tight, kind of perfect, right? But then when she's with Knightley, she's looser and sarcastic and spontaneous and funnier. And that's the Lacey that I enjoy watching. I don't like these I don't like her characters that are too Hallmark perfect.
I fully agree. Her with Knightley is so fun. You feel like the character is really letting herself go, like be herself, say the first thing that comes to her mind without editing. I do have to say that the first conversation they have in this episode is over the phone, and I prefer their in-person banter just because it's tighter. You know, when we're recording these phone conversations, they're not actually talking to each other.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't translate as well. But when they're together, their banter is so good.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly the scene.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad.
No, like she like laughs to something he says.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that feels so manufactured. Yes.
Exactly.
I know exactly what you mean.
Because they have incredible chemistry when they're together. Sebastian drops her off for her meeting, and Knightley says he doesn't sound Irish and he doesn't smell like sheep. I laughed out loud. Loved it. And then I like that we learn more about who Knightley is as a person. And I like their conversation about like why everyone's doing this job. Like Chelsea's doing it because like she wants to make a difference. And Knightley is like, well, I'm just good at it. But then we learn like, no, he's kind of in charge of taking care of his sister and he needs to make good money in order to be able to do that. And I feel like they're trying to talk about like, hey, there's lots of different reasons for doing a job, and making money is a perfectly morally good reason for that. And it lets Chelsea, you know, like him a little bit more. He's not just this like blowhard at work.
Right. Right. I felt this episode was a lot of what I call walk and talk.
Very.
You know, heavy dialogue between these two, and we're learning more about Knightley through these conversations, and he's learning more about her through these conversations. I like a dialogue heavy.
Me too. Well, because especially with these two, because they're so good.
Exactly.
She's like, I can't wear that dress. I'm a spiller. Just the way she talks. And then he calls it back and he like pushes a napkin over. I know you're a spiller.
With her voiceover of like, this is what it feels like to be seen by somebody.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, yeah, I love that. I love that because I think that's ultimately what a lot of people want out of relationships from their partners, to be seen, right? And she's talking about the, you know, comparison between like Sebastian saw her and thought she was beautiful and taught her to be, you know, I don't know if he taught her to be beautiful or whatever, but
to see herself that way.
Yes, exactly. But Knightley sees her differently. He sees her. He sees who the person she is. I don't know. I'm loving it.
I'm loving it too. And I love that we get the revisit of when she's like, oh, now I understand. That's why you came down so hard on me for spending time with my dad and my sister. And he's like, yeah, I could have been nicer. And I love him being like, yeah, I was kind of a dick in that moment. But she's like, no, like that was the message I needed to hear. She's like, it wouldn't have mattered. Like I needed to hear that message from you. The other thing I love is when she arrives at the restaurant after her terrible date with Sebastian and he like pushes his fries over to her and he's like, secret wife. And she goes, worse, ulterior motives. I just loved it. They get each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think they would ever do a season 2 on this?
That's a great question. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know what the story is.
Yeah, I don't either.
But you just want more of these two?
Yeah, because you know how you just fall in love with like certain characters?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what the story would be like you said, but yeah, I could really use a lot more of these two together.
This to me is the episode where Knightley's feelings are very clear. I mean, it was getting that way in the last episode, but it's like the way he looks at her. Not that we didn't know this was going that way, but they've done a really nice job of building up his emotions towards her.
Yes,
and like breaking down her walls when it comes to him. Like, I don't think she's in until she walked into that restaurant and like her whole face changed when she saw him. I think she was like, oh shit, what am I doing? Like, he's right here. Anything else about Knightley?
No, I need more. I need more.
I was driving my daughter and a friend somewhere the other day, and her friend was like, oh, I'm watching Greek. And I was like, I'm like, I love Greek. I'm like, I love Cappy. And she's like, I love Cappy too.
Oh my gosh. Do I need to watch Greek?
Well, I'm kind of want to rewatch and see if it holds up. It's 4 seasons because it's their 4 years of college.
Uh-huh.
I loved it. Spencer Grammer is in it.
Maybe maybe this needs to be my throw on.
I kind of have been looking for like a lighthearted show. I might have to revisit it.
Okay.
Should we do Greek Girls?
Oh my God.
Girls Gone Greek. Just kidding. Maybe I'm not, though.
Talk to me in 2027, January 2027.
Okay. Greek Girls coming to a podcast feed near you.
Maybe.
Let's talk about Chelsea's dad.
I like him so much.
Me too.
I can't fault this man. He's really there for his kids. And, when she's like asking him, like, how do you she's asked something about like trusting them, because Annabelle's just off in Ireland with some dude and Chelsea's running around Europe. He's like, I trust that you guys are going to make the best decisions or whatever. Yeah, I just like him a lot.
I like that this conversation turns on its head a little bit. He calls because he's going to be the one to reach out because Sherry had pushed him. But ultimately, Chelsea is like, look, you haven't done anything wrong. I owe you an apology for my reaction. And she doesn't go so far as to say, like, I accept Sherry and can I call her mom, right? But she's very clear that she wants him to be happy. And she says, you don't need my blessing. Like, it's not my choice. Like, I want you to make the best decision for you. It was such a nice father-daughter moment.
Yeah, totally. And I appreciate that Chelsea was mature enough to be like, she wants her dad to be happy.
Yes. Yeah, and I think obviously her revisiting all of these past loves is pointing out to her, like, that's not so easy to find.
Right.
Like, finding the person that is the right match for you is something special. So, yay, I love it. Anything else?
I don't think so. I'm just enjoying the series. I hope other people are too.
I'm really curious. Please email us. Let us know your thoughts on this series. I did see some people saying like, oh, I couldn't even watch it. And I was like, oh, I got to click out of here. Like, I'm not doing this. If I were the author, I would be very happy with Hallmark's take on my book. You had to know they're not going to include a almost sexual assault situation. They're not going to include pole dancing, but I think they're being very true to the story she was trying to tell. So that's where I'm landing. Thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark. We'll be back next week with our thoughts on Paris is Always a Good Idea, episode 4. And of course, we'll be back on Thursday with our latest Hallmark movie review. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.